Okay guys, welcome to my next setup in the BMW Z4 GT3. I'm going to be taking it around Brno and I'm going to give you a quick track guide first, just like I did around Monza, and then we're going to go through the setup again. So let's just let it start up now. Obviously to start the lap, you don't want to push too hard on these bends, you want to get a good exit coming off this bend here. Now, so you want to go wide and tight in now, and we're going to go floor it as hard as we can, working our way through the gears, and we're going to just reach 6th gear. And then we're going to be slowing it down like we done last video, and we're going to aim to brake just after the 100 marker here. Now you'll look for the white line across the road, there it is, you just see it there. Now you're going down into 5th and then hold 4th a bit, and then staying in 4th gear, and we want to keep it tight on this bend. I don't like to run it wide, I like to keep it nice and tight, and then you can get the power down really early once you feel that back end starting to slide a little bit. You want to get a nice little bit of sliding going through the corner. Then we're going flat out through here now, flat out up to 6th gear again. And we're going to brake down into 4th gear. I like to take this in 4th gear, I don't like to go into 3rd gear, you'll see why now. If we go down to 4th gear just after the 100 again there, and we're staying in 4th gear, it's going to keep the back end in shape rather than going down into 3rd gear and losing the back end of it. And we're going to get a nice tight line again there. And then we're going to go accelerating into 4th gear, and we're going to go down into 3rd gear just as we approach the bend, and aiming to hit the curb on the right. And then we're going to accelerate all the way through the bend, get the power right down, and then we're going to go into 4th gear just about on the exit onto the curb there now. Then we're going down into the right hander now, and just after the 100 again we're going to go down into 4th gear, keep it in 4th as we take the first part of this bend. Don't like to go in 3rd again. 4th gear keeps the back end much more stable. And then we're going to accelerate now in 4th gear, get the power down, and then just as we come off the curb, go down into 3rd gear, aim to hit, you want to try and hit them, the tyres on the corner. If you aim to try and hit them, you'll probably miss them and take the bend perfectly. Now we're going to stay in 3rd gear on the left hander, and we're going to take nice and tight to the corner, and then get the power down really early again. So you see there, we're going to power out, staying in 3rd gear, not 2nd again, keep the back end nice and secure. And then we're coming into the left hander, we're going to go into 4th gear, then back down to 3rd gear straight away, and take a nice early turn in again. We want to get that left tyre on the curb to keep the car to the left as much as we can, so we can get a nice good exit on this bend on this right hander. As you can see there, you want to stay nice and tight again, then get the power down. You can get the power down really early. You see there, power down now. We ran a little bit wide then, we maybe lost a 10th, maybe a bit less, but we lost a bit. But you really want to stay on the track. If you run a bit wide like that, you're going to lose a bit of time. So then we're coming down to the next braking zone, and we're going to brake just before the end of the curb there, and we're going down into 4th gear. You see there, don't go into 3rd again. Staying in 4th gear here, and then down to 3rd just as we approach the apex of the corner, and then back into 4th gear and power out using the curb on the white on the outside there, as much track as we can use to get as much acceleration down. Then we're going down into 3rd gear early again, nice early entry into this corner on the curb again. A lot of lifting off on the throttle and not much powering through corners on this track. Again, taking the corner nice and early again there on the curb, powering through in 3rd gear, and then hard on the gas now. This is straight up the hill now into the left hander, and we're going to brake just basically on the marshal's post on the right, the green marshal post there. You see that, braking down into 4th gear. We're going to stay in 4th gear, and then just as we hit the curb there, we're going to go down into 3rd gear, and then stay as far left as we can. We do run a little bit wide then, maybe lost another 10th, and then we have to take quite a tight line in. But if you can get a wider line and take a bit better entry into the corner, you'll get a better exit here now. But as you see there, we managed to just survive through the corner, just running onto the curb and flat out over the line for 1 minute 57.1. Okay, so let's have a little look at the setup now. So basically, I've managed to get the setup handling. It feels very similar to the pre 5.0 setup that I had beforehand. I've had to make a few changes, but it feels really nice. It may be possible to run it out with some changes that I'll talk to you about in a minute, but it may be slightly faster. But I just like this, it felt really consistent. So this is one thing I've found on a lot of tracks and a lot of cars, is running tyre pressures all the way to the left seems to keep the tyres, give them a lot more grip, and they don't seem to be overheating. I think there may be a little bit of a bug within this tyre pressure, I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't feel how it should do. Anyway, so we're going to go through all the usual stuff here. It's all pretty standard up to this point. Gearing 4.08, everything's pretty much similar to the setup head. Now this is the difference. Limited slip is down to 5%. I think I had it on about 30% maybe last time. And the deceleration slip is similar, but we've upped the limited slip preload to 40mm to give us a bit more stability through the bends. Radiator was on, obviously depending qualifying, you can have it on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%. Don't have it more than 5% for qualifying. Race, up it to 20, etc. Now we've upped the bump stop all on every single tyre, on every single corner by 5. So it was on 5 and I think it's now on 10. It's on 10 now. It seems to cope with the bumps a lot better. I think since the patch came out, the cars with traction control I feel a lot more skittish, so I've tried to stabilise the car as much as possible with the traction off. And I think you'll see when you try it, it really it felt perfect to me. And obviously the suspension's pretty much similar to what I had last time. It's a little bit different, no major changes I'd say. And then we're going to move on to the camber. Now this is a big change with the camber in a minute. It might not even be the camber yet. Let me just check what's next. I think we go on to the the ride height. We're the same there, low as possible on the front, low as possible on the back. We want as much grip as we can and traction through these corners, so as low as possible there. Stiffness, quite stiff on the front, a little bit softer on the back, just to give a bit more traction to the rear tyres again. Obviously I run traction control off, so I want traction on the rear. Sway bars just past the middle point on both of them. It felt really nice for me. I did try a bit harder, but it felt better just where it is there. And then we're going to go on to the cambers, like I say, the main thing that's affected with the patch, and you can see it, big change. Front camber, the front camber's 2.3. It's a lot more realistic. It felt, I tried low, didn't work for me on this track. Rear cambers all the way up to 1.8 now, and that seems to add traction to the rear for me, especially with traction control off. Moving the cambers up, and I didn't really get much loss in speed. I noticed it just seemed to add a lot more traction to your tyres through the corners and coming out the bends on exit, on power down on the exit. It seems to give you a lot more ability to come out the corners. I found running low, the car feels a lot twitchier, so moving them up 1.8 felt really nice. I've moved the toe down a bit to 0.0, just it's obviously minus 0.0 because it's not the exact 0. It just felt a little bit less turning, just to smooth it out a bit, and then up again on the rear toe as well. That seemed to secure the back end a little bit more. Everything I've done seemed to secure the back end. See, last time I had my setup on 1.4, now again 1.5, just to secure the rear end up a bit, and there's not a major loss in speed. Same on the weight bias again, and there's the setup done. And as usual, the force feedback totally standard. I don't touch that. I don't feel there's any gains to it for myself. I feel like the way they've done it standard is fine. Okay guys, I'm going to leave you with the replay footage from the TV cameras in full speed without the slow motion for you to have a little look at, just so you can see it in full motion. I hope this video is going to help a lot of you get into the 1:57s. I hope the setup will help a lot of you just find a little bit more stability on the track now with traction control off. And obviously if you want to see more of these videos in the future, make sure you subscribe and like. Thank you very much guys, I'll be back on again soon.